is we have a casting for Aviendha.
Yep.
So, let me pull it up there. Right. So the crazy, I guess the thing is, we knew we were gonna get Aviendha in season 2.
Yeah.
And here we are. What is her name? Like Ayoola Smart, I believe. Is
It's either Ayola or Iola.
Ayoola or
Yeah.
Iola?
I think she's an Irish actress. I think.
Okay. But nonetheless, we have a casting for Aviendha, so it's confirmed we're getting Aviendha in season 2. I guess that sort of now leads us to the question of like, what does that mean, and where are we going in season 2 with Aviendha?
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. It's it's confirmed. We have a casting for the character. Which the crazy thing to me is that you have Aviendha and Elaine. So, because I was thinking maybe you stick with one, introducing one or the other and going one route, but I think you're going to have two crews going in different directions. You got to go to the Aiel Waste, and then you got to go to Camelin, right? You have to go to the tower and have Elaine introduced. It's just it's ambitious, and I like it.
Yeah, so I think what we were saying, which was initially that season 2, which by the way, it also is pretty much looking / somewhat confirmed, season 2 isn't happening until 2023. So it seems like we've been saying we think it's season 2 is going to be Great Hunt and Dragon Reborn sort of running in parallel and combined. But now I think it's almost Great Hunt, Dragon Reborn, and Shadow Rising, at least Rand's portion, plugged into season 2.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Because we can even go back over some of this too, because I think it's interesting to talk about like where we left off. I was blown away that in season 1 you had that we got as far as we did, but that we only got that far. You know what I mean? That
Yes.
we got to the events of the Eye of the World. We all thought they were going to try to do like a book and a half or more. So this now seems like, with the casting and where we're headed, and maybe based upon what they saw in ratings and reviews and stuff from season 1, maybe they think they have to go at a quicker pace, and they have to do cover more of the material, move things around. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to be following the Aviendha track, and it seems like it's going to be, Matt, it's going to be so different from the books. I think at this point you can just say, here's what I think is going to happen, and you've got just as good a guess as anybody. You know what I mean? I mean, you can kind of use the book as some of all right, this is where you can kind of base it in terms of where the books are at. But like, for example, Matt has said for a while that Rand is going to go to the Aiel Waste, and he is going to kind of interact, with the Aiel, and they go actually across the spine of the world to find him, right? They go to Tyr, and that's the whole thing. This is going to go down a different way, I think. I think he's going to go on his walkabout. I think the hunt for the Horn of Alir, which is awesome, by the way, that they actually have that, and it's going to be a thing. Hopefully, it should be.
Yes,
in season 2. But there's gonna be another crew responsible for that hunt, and do two things at the same time. Have Rand go into the Aiel Waste, learn all this stuff. He doesn't need. He can still take Moraine with them if they want to send one of the other girls in there. They can, but like, I think Egwene doesn't even go until after the events of the Dragon Reborn, until they have the whole everything's got, sort of revealed there. So she still needs to go to the tower. They still need to be trained. They still need to meet Elaine, and they have a lot to do on this side of the map. Rand wants to get away because he believes he's the dragon. He knows he's the dragon now. So it's time to go to the Aiel Waste and and get it done. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I mean, it's, to me, yeah, just like you said, Rand. So we've talked about this before. In the Great Hunt, Rand is with everyone on the hunt for the horn. But in the Dragon Reborn, you don't even see him. He's just sort of wandering around. You literally meet up with him at a few campfires where Egwene runs into him in like the dream world, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's in the dream world. He's in the real world, just sort of sitting there at like a campfire, on making his way all the way down to Tyr. But then in The Shadow Rising is when Rand and Matt are over in the Aiel Waste, and Rand's beginning to meet them and all this stuff, and then it sets up with Coolin and all of that. So clearly, it seems like Rand's now going to the Aiel Waste by himself, where he's going to meet Aviendha and start this. I think what's going to happen is he's already heard a little bit of what the dragon is from the Aes Sedai. But then he is going to he's going to now learn the Aiel way of things and learn that maybe we're going to have more distrust between the Aiel and the Aes Sedai than we think. Like, you know, that's, I mean, it's there, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be pushed up quite a bit. So we're definitely going to get a lot of that. And then maybe the end of it, as we said, which I think we said, you know, one of the last times we were on here podcasting, was maybe Rand shows up to Tyr, where we think it's going to happen rather than Faldara, where the way that the Great Hunt ends. I think you just sort of have maybe Kalendor be the main focus, and you like blow the Horn of Lear. The Horn of Lear gets blown, and everything that happens at the end of the Great Hunt is actually taking place in Tyr. But now Rand shows up with an Aiel army or whatever, and then it's kind of a lot of these events take place here. You could then move like Perrin's story forward,
right?
Maybe like Perrin's, because you're definitely not going to be able to do all three of like Shadow Rising, Great Hunt, and whatever. I think really just only probably this aspect of the Great Hunt, or excuse me, Shadow Rising, is getting pulled forward into season 2.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, like, you have to have the hunt, whether it's Falma or Tyr or whatever. Perrin is in on that. You're going to have to rope Tom back in more. I think, you know, Moraine can go with Rand if that's what they want to do also, because Moraine kind of disappears in the Great Hunt and does her thing. But for, you know, Perrin, and again, you could also split it up by season. Maybe the first 4 episodes is just a shorter chase for the hunt or for the horn. They get that, and then he goes on and has to do some awesome ta'veren stuff back in the Two Rivers. You know, you have that set. You have all of those individuals cast, right? So that would be kind of cool to see them go back there. Pot on Vane, if the horn is stolen from him and he wants to lure people back in, immediately he's going to go to the Two Rivers and try to get some of the ta'veren there, which gets him access to Rand. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. There's also this weird bit where Pot on Vane in the book really dwells on Rand and his hunt. You know, he's hunting for the Dark One. But right now, it seems like it's Perrin who he's made eyes with, and it's Matt who he had dealings with, right? Supposed to be Matt, right? Yeah.
That might shift back and see. That's another thing we don't think about as much too, is what is Matt's arc, especially with Barney Harris leaving and everything. It was what are they going to shift around in season 2? You know, I'm fine with it getting switched over a little bit to Perrin, especially because I think we're actually set up right now where Matt could. I think this may be a route they go in season 2 is Matt's. We see him go back to the tower. I don't know that we've had casting for it yet. Have we had casting for one of Galad or Gawain?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Look them up here. But I think we can still have that where Matt like fights Galad and Gawain, and then maybe he and Tom end up leaving. Maybe he meets Tom there at the White Tower, because remember, a lot of the big cities and everything I think are now just going to be focused. That's going to be in Tar Valon, where a lot of those big events take place. Maybe he meets up with Tom Maryland, and maybe he and Tom Maryland actually end up going to the Aiel Waste looking for Rand.
Okay. Yeah. Instead, and then through that, if they go looking for him, and we had a great comment up here as well, that Land might also go looking for him. So, Catherine, thank you.
Because I think what you could do then is you have Rand over there with Aviendha, which gives you like with the Aiel. Because you think about like your season, and you sort of like have like a little bit of a gang together. So then you're gonna have Rand and the Aiel. Probably Aviendha will be the main person he's interacting with. Okay, you're gonna have the girls at the White Tower training. and Moraine can't be there, so we don't. She's kind of the wild card because it's like so different. We don't know exactly, like what's gonna what's gonna be going on there.
Yeah.
But then I think Perrin, what you're gonna do is Perrin is obviously gonna be now the one hunting for the horn. Like the main sort of hunt for the horn is gonna be probably Perrin.
Yeah.
And I think Fael's arc is probably getting moved up, which I think works and can make sense because then you can have her be a hunter for the horn, and then now you have that dynamic of Perrin going there. And then there's kind of your main cast, and that's probably what's going to be going on.